Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is One Simon Logs. Welcome to this YouTube channel. This is where we discuss everything around tech, cars, and life in between. Today's episode actually has been triggered as a result of recent happenings. Yeah, on July 3rd, 4th, that already had a cyber attack in the Joomla CMS. So what happens is that a known vulnerability was exploited, and what this means is basically that among the CMSs, just given just a literal background, we have WordPress, which is commonly used, is a content management system. This is where we have, if you're running your own business, someone does your website and now you're able to update the content, give any sort of blogs to it and search information. So we have WordPress most used, we have Joomla as well, we have Drupal also coming in, and so many other sort of alternatives to each other. So with these CMSs, what happens? There is a whole utilization of plugins. So what do plugins mean? Plugins basically what would say components that make up the framework. So we have this whole framework that's say WordPress, or now for this instance Joomla, and then now we have plugins that make your life quite easy in terms of bringing in maps. You can have a plugin that once you have your coordinates, it's able to bring in a map sort of thing. You can have gallery sort of plugins that now with your photos is able to give them that splash in, splash out sort of effect, and so many other things that come in. So part of the plugins, we have Helix 3 now for this specific instance. It's some of the components that aid in terms of the general feel of the website and the whole thing. So what happened is that attackers, once we have these plugins running, attackers come and now try to reverse engineer them, and in the process identify vulnerabilities to them. So that means is that once a plugin comes into play and it's absorbed by many developers who in turn now use them for live websites, attackers, for whatever reasons, start now doing analysis to them. What can we do? What is it that we can use to, penetrate through these websites, maybe derive some sort of, monetary value, and others just hack them for fun. So these are guys who just maybe out of curiosity run all these, now with the rise of AI, they just, try to research around, what attack can we draw? What is it that we can do? What is it that we can achieve? So for this specific one, it's called AntonKill. So for AntonKill, what happens is that they utilized vulnerabilities in Helix 3 inside Joomla to affect how the templates look like. So for instance, you had the most common one is Flex. So you had Flex, for instance, or Prosta running. So they have sort of database configurations that affect how that website looks like. Remember, it's a dynamic website. Tomorrow, the owner might wake up and say, well, I want the landing page looking like this. So now with the CMS, it's very easy now to, do all those sort of adjustments and all that. So what happened is that they injected some malicious code into your database using this vulnerability in Helix 3 in Joomla. So what happens is that your website we refer to your configurations in the database to see what is it that I'm supposed to display. And that's where they brought in that AntonKill page, Where they just say oh, you're under attack, this is AntonKill and all that running. So what this meant is that one, based on now, for instance, the case that I was dealing with, this is someone who called, someone I know and very close to me, tells me, well, we can see this AntonKill landing page coming instead of our usual content in terms of what they normally have as the home page. So preliminary views to it and investigations showed everything seemed okay in terms of even the files, the modification date and all that. So remember again, the files were not modified, but now the database had some configurations that were changed by the vulnerability and the injection that was done to it. So that means the configuration files that are coming from the database are showing something different which is the AntonKill page. So here is where it becomes interesting. Yeah, files look okay, but now the database looks a little bit, it's continuous. So that means the client data is still there, and now the injections to it. Then comes another thing with not so well maintained websites. Yeah, there are no frequent backups, so you can't roll back the database to maybe a previous day before the injections. You can't roll back to a given date when it was last working okay. So that means you have a database that's full of many tables that you're not sure which table was affected, but again, you have to do the analysis. So we check online, see, well, everyone is talking about it. Reddit, Twitter, a few guys on TikTok, and I think one YouTube video that was just, well, this is what happened and all that. So documentation of the same is about what was attacked, what happened and all that. Yeah. So you still have to dig deeper in terms of identifying for this specific case scenario, what files were affected, if there are any, and also what database tables were affected. So now thinking about it now in terms of, in hindsight now, we've been able to recover the website, that's one. So it's back online and they're running, but they've lost a few days in terms of their daily operations. So that's a minus on their end. And I thought about it, and now root cause analysis to it is that this fix was done in another version of Helix and another version of what's the name of this dependency? Helix 3 as a style and Helix 3 as a framework. So what happened is that this specific case that I was dealing with, and many others of course, is that they don't do updates in terms of these plugins, in terms of these components. So what's encouraged in terms of best practices, if you're running on a CMS or even generally you have reliance on third-party applications, third-party components, frameworks and all that, they do, or rather even most of these open source software, is that one time they'll tell you, well, we have a new update that's coming in and part of it is fixing problem A, B, C, D and all that. Because remember, we say it again, cybersecurity is a continuous process. Every new day, attackers are coming in different styles and ways to just try and see how they can attack you. At the same time, developers of these specific systems are working also day and night, trying to patch and improve their systems. So it's always sort of continuous process. And what that means is that we've come from a point where now you just had your website up and running and you just pay for your annual hosting fee and your domain and you're good to go. It's no longer the case, because what you're relying on is being targeted by an attacker somewhere. And now people are working to update it. Then for your case and your business, you have a website that is not maintained. Basically, you and the developer did your deal. It's a one-off sort of payment. Get your payment. My website is up. That's fine. So what happens thereafter? What happens thereafter is now cases like this. We are now not maintained in terms of the checks, no vulnerability analysis to your site, and no threat scans to it. So what this results to is, all these known vulnerabilities, and you find you might be using just one component of it all. Like for their case, it was just one element that was off, and now you have this whole attack. So for AntonKill, and I'm sure others will still come in and, try to do stuff, which is now every other day people are trying to penetrate these systems. So research is ongoing in terms of now attack and also anti-attack. So you have to be on tabs, you have to be on toes, and we do that, and also a few other organizations or other organizations everywhere are doing that. And it's just like a vehicle. Buy the vehicle, maintain it, and it becomes easier actually to even have those routine maintenances. Over now, when you're under an attack, one, you've lost your clientele, and also now part of your proceedings, depending on how heavy you rely on your website, you may not be able to recoup some of that investment amount. So the thing is, get a reliable sort of, organization to do analysis on your website. Get to know exactly what you need, get to know what you're relying on, understand as a client also just little about like how your platform looks like, and from that you're able to also read around, see what is happening, and you become informed over time. So for anyone who has been hit with such an attack, for instance, you can easily take your website off, just have it offline and all that, just to avoid sort of now confusion to your clients, and also SEO rankings to maybe Google and all those other search engines. And engage us. We'll be able to at least retrieve your data and be able to run analysis to it, vulnerability, be it what, and have everything running. So, and also if you suspect any other sort of issue, it's always good to talk to your site admin, understand what could be happening, and also the repercussions to it. Yeah. So thank you very much, and I think we'll catch up more in coming episodes, where we'll be now digging further and demystifying all these aspects of digital identity. I know that's something we've said it's coming in up, so that should be the next series in our episode. Other than that, you can always find us, drop me an email, simon@simatechsolutions.co.ke, and if you want to be hosted on an episode, or rather you would like to share more information around our main areas of focus, feel free to reach out. And also, for people finding this video informative, kindly like, share with your friends, share the knowledge, and remember to subscribe to our channel. And on the same note, turn on the notifications and you'll get alerts every other time we upload a new video and a new episode of something more interesting, more fun, and more insightful to your business. Thank you.